Hey guys, Cal here, bringing you another video. This one is going to be Sneaky Goblin Tier List. I finally got my computer rolling, and we're just going to go and go to the template maker, go to recent, um, and let's see here. I probably should have done this a bit better. But if you see any of these tier lists that you would like me to do, definitely let me know. The last time I came here, uh, is it characters? It looks like it. No, we want all spells and troops. The last time I came here, it was pretty much there it is. Here it is. Um, was right here. These are all the troops in the game. And this is essentially going to be uh, a tier list on what you should run and what you should not run in combination with your Sneaky Goblin comps. Uh, we're just gonna kind of go for it. So we're gonna have this must run multiples. So this is like you want as many as you can in the composition. This is will run multiple. We'll do that. We'll run multiple of this. We'll do as many as we can. We're gonna do that. I don't know why this one is weird. Let's see. Run multiple. There we go. This one we're gonna only run like a few. Run 1 to 2. Run to two of run 1 to 2 of them. We'll go uh sometimes run, and then we'll do never run. So those will be our tier list right now. Right now, we're going to be doing mostly, we'll say, farming. Um, but we'll also be thinking of like war when you're doing a war attack. If we're getting the 50%, what type of troops we're also going to be running, we're going to be taking that into consideration. So first things first, barbarians. Where will we put this? So I think you will probably never run a barbarian in a composition with sneaky goblins just because you don't really want to run anything that's less efficient than a sneaky goblin. And the barbarian won't hit anything that a sneaky goblin cannot. Uh, it isn't ranged and it doesn't do much for you. Baby dragon here. We're going to be sometimes running this. The baby dragon is going to be very good because if you think about it, a baby dragon is 10 housing space, whereas a sneaky goblin, which right now we'll just put it run as many as you want because we know that that's what's going to happen. Uh, 3 sneaky goblins per baby dragon, and a sneaky goblin can take out 1 building per 1 sneaky goblin. So we want this baby dragon to be able to take out at least 3 buildings to get its value out of it. So if we can find a spot for that baby dragon, let's say in planning, um, you can put a baby dragon there. But usually it's very rare that you would want to run that over just more sneaky goblins. So baby dragon, same thing. This one's probably the builder base, so we're not going to be ranking builder base. Let's see. Let's add. Can we add a thing? Add row below. Okay, maybe it doesn't. Oh, oh no. Unprofessional. Unprofessional. So we'll do uh not uh in main village. Not in main village, so we won't put that there. Delete this row. Boom. So not in main village. Balloons. Balloons you're probably never gonna run. Balloon, if you think about it, I don't really think I need to talk too much about it. Can only hit defenses. Um, I can see it like pre-nerf or pre-mortar buff. You can run one to snipe off like a mortar, but like unless there's like because it's 2 sneaky goblins. If it's defense maybe and it's really far on the outside, you may run sometimes, but for the most part you'll never be running it. You don't run any air targeting troops or air troops, so you won't be seeking for mines or anything. You'll always run your queen. If you can have more queens, you would always run more queens. Um, Archer. Actually, I think you should be running one or two. But actually, it's in the sometimes run. Archer, very good. Archer has range, so if you look at a base and you can snipe off something, one archer for one building is more efficient than a sneaky goblin. So always look for a time where you can use an archer. I'll put this in one or two because because when you have a sneaky goblin army and it's all sneaky goblins, usually the sneaky goblins won't fill it up perfectly. You might have a few extra space in there, so running that one archer will help you get that 50% sometimes, maybe even get you some loot. So, uh, where if you can place an archer and it doesn't get hit by anything, this archer is more efficient than a sneaky goblin. So running one is always going to be great. We're going to go king, always run him. So boom. Uh, heroes, not much to talk about. It is free. Bat spell. You're not going to ever run this. There's no reason to. Um, it doesn't hit anything that you would want to hit. And for it to be good, you need to have some investment. Rage spells, a lot of them, and it's just not worth keeping those. Bomber's not part of the main village. You're not part of the main village. Bowler. Bowler is also in the never run. Bowler's in similar to Archer in the sense that you can bounce something. But if it's out of range, a bowler is nice because the bowler allows you to do something what's called a bowler bounce. Uh, uh, I'm looking up right now, how much housing space he is. Because I actually don't know. If he's six, it's definitely worth it. If he's more, uh, it's not. But if you can bounce, if he's six troops and you can get two buildings with him, he is definitely worth it. Because the most amount of buildings you will ever get with a bowler is two. So, housing cost. Uh, bowler wiki. But pretty much, we're not going to be running the bowler unless he is good. Where does it say? Hit points. Let's just do this. Bowler Clash of Clans housing cost. We'll do this together. Together, we will find out how much a bowler is. Six. Okay, I knew it was six. Okay. Six housing spot. So you sometimes run it. If you can get a good bounce off, get maybe a defense or something, you can sometimes run it. Make sure that you're looking at where it's bouncing. Bowler can be very valuable to you. Not in the main village. Not in the main village. Not in the main village. I think this is the bat from whatever. Wait. Oh, never mind. Blimp. You will run. The blimp is fine. I think actually it's not that good. But you can sometimes run it if you want to snipe out a town hall. I'm gonna actually add, oops, another. Where are we going here? Where are we going? Run one to two. Never run. I don't know what's happening. This is my first time using this, so this goes down like that. We're going to add another one here, cause uh, add a row below. So this one, we're gonna say uh run less. We'll go very specific. Very specific will be the blimp, and very specific will be the bowler. There we go. Because like you would run baby dragon, but you wouldn't run it as much as an archer. So I think this is a nice little in between here. So this is not in the main village. Clone spell. You would never run this. There's no reason to. It would have been funny if you cloned a sneaky goblin, it refreshed its like invisibility because it's creating a new sneaky goblin. But I don't think it does that. So if it did do that, we might find some very niche specific situations, but for the most part, no, we're not going to be running that. Not in the main village, not in the main village. Dragon Rider, we're not running. It's the same thing as the balloon, except it's even more housing space. No point of running it. Dragon, very similar to the baby dragon. However, it's twice as much, and there's no way your dragon is getting that much value. So that's going to go away. We'll use you all the time because you're a hero. We're going to be running 0 super wizards, just not that very good. We're going to be running you very specifically, very similar to the baby dragon, where you might get some value. The difference is that this is free. Um, and if you have access to it and no other siege machines, we can see this sometimes being used. But it is definitely on the weaker side of the siege machines, but we can't put siege machines in never run because if you have the opportunity to run them, you should always run them. So this one is also very specific. I think it's less specific than a blimp. I think the blimp is just a better one. Wrong game. Super bowlers. Is the bowler, but bigger. Um, Pretty much the more housing space you take up, the less likely we're going to use you. Not in the game. Oh, actually, you are in the game, but we're never going to run you because you are more housing space than a balloon, and that is just how it is. Valkyrie. Super Valkyrie. No. I don't think we're ever going to run you because I could see in a very specific situation. I think this is gonna be the lowest of very specific. I can see a very specific situation where you're going for the town hall and like it's a teaser base and like you have the Valkyrie die so that your sneaky goblins can get in there quicker. I can see a world. Is it a good world? No, but I can see a world. She's definitely better than all these, but definitely the worst of the very specific. So I think we're gonna put that. You're a skeleton. You don't count. Super minions. How much is a super minion? Super mini minion minion Clash of Clans. Super minion Clash of Clans. We will go. How much troop space are you? So we are going to look at strategy, defense, history. I don't think your housing space 12, so that's 4. If your super minion can hit tw 4 buildings, it's worth it. Do I see a world? No, I don't. There's no world where we run this. I think it might be at here, potentially, because it can snipe off a town hall, but like that's what sneaky goblins do, so we're not running you. Yeti. Yeti is actually usable because the Yeti is tanky. The Yeti kills defenses and kills uh anything relatively easily. Yeti Clash of Clans. Yeti Clash of Clans, we have, I believe it's 12 troop space here. 18 housing space. So 18, so we need 6 buildings, and that isn't unthinkable. That isn't offensive. I think having a Yeti is actually pretty decent. The thing is, the Yeti and the King do very similar jobs, and the King is free. But the Yeti can hit defenses, and the nice thing about Yetis, this is also what you need to take in consideration when running Sneaky Goblin comp, is the Sneaky Goblins in the beginning can't hit anything that is not a loot resource. So things that hit things that the Sneaky Goblin can't are more valuable than things that hit what it does. Um, so I think Yeti could be pretty decent. I think I'm gonna put in sometimes run here, mostly because it can hit defenses. It can tank. It's like if it dies immediately, you get a little bit of value. Um, I think it's better than these other things, and it's like a better P.E.K.K.A. So, and P.E.K.K.A is a bit too expensive to run. Spoiler alert. So, not in the game, not in the game, not in the game, not in the game. Ooh, Unicorn is in the game and is busted. Let's go. Um, you're running it if you can. Attached to the Queen. Witches very similar to Yetis. Uh, but y witches are actually bad in the sense that you wouldn't run them because witches are very good when there's a lot of them because then they spawn a ton of skeletons. Only running one witch is not going to be worth it. And if you're running any more than one witch, you're just taking up way too much housing space. Here, we want to run, always run this. Actually, we'll put it in run multiple. This is like the tier below, tier above this, tier below here, because there's one siege machine that we're always going to use. This one is the next best thing. This hits things that are, it pretty much, this gets you free percent. It's free percent, and it's always going to work. Oh, I forgot to mention, Yetis are up here because you put them with your siege machine. So Yeti is great with siege machine. They come out after this has done a ton of damage. Uh, is really good. You would run this in there. So something to consider is you wouldn't bring sneaky goblins in your CC unless you're crazy. You can be crazy and bring them with a blimp, but overall you're going to be running one of these, and sneaky goblins do not do good in the siege machines. So just something to think about. Archer bad. You won't run this. It's the same thing. Too expensive, not enough value. Valkyrie, we might see a very similar sense in the Super Valk, but honestly, uh, you can run it like Yeti instead. It's not worth her troop space. Wallbreaker, you will sometimes run. I don't think you would ever run it, but if you're running it over, you run multiple of them because you need a way to get in there. If you are being stingy and don't want to use super wall breakers, these wall breakers will do the job just fine. Not in the game. Super witches too expensive and bad. This is one that's not in the game. Oh, I think it'd be like this actually. There we go. Super Dragon also too expensive, not in the game. I'm gonna start speeding through these ones because I don't really need to talk about too much. Wall Wrecker, you very specifically you might run. I think it's in the same. All these you can't really not run a siege machine. I think it goes in this order: Blimp, then Slammer, then Wall Wrecker. The reason why you don't really want to run Wall Wrecker is because it doesn't take out buildings. Super Barb, the same thing. It's a barbarian, probably more troop space than three. Not a great look. Wizard, you might run one or two. I think we'll put in sometimes run. The only problem with the Wizard is that it has the same range as an Archer, so if you can get value out of a Wizard, you can get value out of an Archer. So actually, we would not be running him just because Archer exists. Why would we run him over Archer? But I guess if you want to take something out fast, like you don't want to run out of time, you might run a Wizard over an Archer. So we'll do that there. Skeleton spell, you won't run. Maybe if you're looking for cleanup, but like you'd much rather run invisibility spell. Best troop to run with sneaky goblins is the super wall breaker. Always run as many as you can. I run 8. Um, well, not as many as you can. I run 8. You should run about that much or less, depending on the base, of course. Earthquake bad. Don't run it. 4 earthquakes, you might as well bring 2 jumps, more valuable for sneaky goblins. Night Witch, not in there. This is the S tier one. You always want to run this if you can. Uh, just because, for example, this right here will sometimes hit your loot. It'll hit something that like you can hit. This literally won't get hit and will only hit things that your sneaky goblins can't. So this will always get you percent that you cannot get with sneaky goblins, especially early on in the base where you really want to be doing this. You want to be using your siege machines early because you don't want to lure out or activate the eagle with your sneaky goblins. So this coming down first is very valuable to the sneaky goblin raid and is absolutely the one that you want to be taking. You want to be running 1 or 2 jump spells. I think people that run more than 1 or 2 is a bit overkill. I don't think you ever need that many. You probably want to stick with 1 to get to the town hall. Everything else is usually doable by super wall breaker. Heal spell. Heal spell is weird. You never really want to run it. I can see a world where if you're farming, you might want to run this and you find like a base where all the loot is in the middle, like it looks like an egg. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It's a box base where they literally put all the storages in the middle of the box. Heal spell is great there because you can just heal through all the damage. You're not taking too much and you'll probably get a lot of value. That's the only case. And because we can make a case for this, we will not put it and never run. Um, I guess for the same reason you might want to take an earthquake if you can get a lot of value in the core, but the only reason why I'm putting this up here is because the reason you wouldn't run this is because of Dark Elixir, but that recently got changed, so now this does not cost Dark Elixir. So there is a use case for it. Clone, you want to run as many as you can. It's the best spell for sneaky goblins, and you just want to run a lot. You know, you want to. This is the one that you want to run the most of. Some people like other spells. I am very pro invisibility spell. You can get everything done relatively easy. These are all not in here. Lava Hound, you'll never run. I don't really need to touch on that. Lassie, busted. Good job, Lassie. Go with the Royal Champion up there. Minion, you can run a minion. Minion can dodge. It's the same category of archer. You either bring a minion or you bring an archer. In that extra space, it's up to you. Giant, you won't be running. Same thing as a balloon. Maybe if you want to do a little bit of tanking for your heroes, you could do that, but I think, uh, because the sneaky goblins have their own tanking mechanic technically implemented in them in invisibility, you won't ever need the giant to tank for them. Healer also, you don't heal. That Hog Rider, I can see a world where you use a Hog Rider to lure out Clan Castle troops. So, but that's about it. Um, so we'll put that at the very low. This is the pass that is very like, even I don't think I should put it there, but I can see a world, so we can do that. Inferno Dragon. I'm pretty sure you are expensive in what's it called? Inferno Dragon Clash of Clans. I've actually never used the Inferno Dragon, but it's probably more expensive than a baby dragon. And because that's the case, yeah, housing space 15, it would need to take out 5 buildings. I don't see a world where that happens, so we will be never running that. P.E.K.K.A, you can run this in your siege machine, but it is worse Yeti. So we'll put this also down here, where it's good because it can take a lot of value, but you get a free P.E.K.K.A in the siege machine. So there's that. But uh, you can run it. It's just one of the bad ones. So we're not running that. And freeze spell. You can sometimes run this. I know people that run the freeze spell Sneaky Goblin. I just feel like anytime you would run a freeze, you could just run an invisibility instead. But I'm making a tier list, so just because I don't use it doesn't mean I should pay my respects. I think that you should run this sometimes. Lava Pups don't really matter. We'll put them never use next to the Lava Hound. Poison spell, you never really want to use this because you don't care about CC troops. Your troop is busted. Moving on to Yak, you want Yak with King, but it is also, what's it called? Free. So we take those. Where's the Warden? There's the Warden. Warden, always want to run him. Also, we'll do like that. And he always wants the bird. Do we want to order the heroes? I think if we are ordering the heroes, it goes like this. There we go. Queen, Warden, King, Royal Champion. Yeah. Lightning spell. Lightning spell probably bad. Don't use that. Just because, what are you lightning? I can't think of anything that you would lightning. Just go invisible past it. If you're farming, maybe. If you're sniping off like collectors deep in the base, but like your sneaky goblins, you should be struggling to do that. So, Ice Golem, great for hero dives. We'll put that there because if you have heroes and it is a war attack, you are diving with your heroes, bringing one Ice Golem. Actually, I'll put it up here. You might want to run one or two. We'll sometimes run it. Is definitely a good idea. So we'll do that. Ice Hound bad. Not in the game. Miner is also bad. It's like the worst out of all of them because it's like a barbarian, but it's more space. So yeah, log launcher also good. I would sometimes run this because it is the third best option, but I think you get this. It goes first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, I think is the order of unlock. I don't remember if you unlock wall wrecker before or after the barrack. But like if you don't have the barrack, well, you want to run the log launcher because it can take things out without taking damage. Another percent game thing. Golem bad. Well, I guess that's the Golem Knights, but Golem bad. Rage, controversial take. I don't think you should ever run the Rage, but actually, I think Rage and Heal are very similar, where you honestly should never be running them. Uh, when it comes to Rage, specifically, right, you can hit the Town Hall with a Rage. Let's say take out the Town Hall with a Rage. You can do the same thing with two invisibility spells, except the invisibility spells gives you more versatility, and you don't have to use both of them at the same time. You can use them in different parts of the base. I think this is just too... It's overkill, and it's not really needed. I think the heal spell is actually better in its niche cases because at least the heal spell keeps them alive longer, where the rage spells just makes them do more damage and makes them kill whatever they were going to kill anyways. So that's just my opinion. We're going to put Cart here. We're going to put Sneaky Goblin here, just because Goblin is like worse Barbarian. And even more worse than the Barbarian because it can only hit things that your Sneaky Goblins are already hitting. Glider gone. Electro Dragon busted. Absolutely broken. I'm joking. We're also never going to run you, even though I am very pro Electro Dragon. You could maybe put it in here because it is good at cleaning up, but I don't really want to play any favoritism here. We don't care about heroes, so we don't care about the Headhunter. This goes with the Ice Golem and the Haste spell. Haste spell is actually really good. I think you should always run at least one. So, I don't know how long this video was, but that is the tier list of our little thing here. Let me just make sure that you can see it. Quick overview, we have Sneaky Goblin as the best because you always want to run it. You always want to run your heroes because obviously you always want to run this Flameflinger. It is the best siege machine in the game for Sneaky Goblins because it hits everything that your Sneaky Goblins can't and gets you easy free percent. Invisibility spell is the best spell for Sneaky Goblins in the game. It does what every single other troop wants to do better. Every spell in the game wants to do for the Sneaky Goblins except better. It can even replace Jump Spell because you can make your Sneaky Goblins invisible to break through a wall in a pinch. I think it's great. Run as many as you can. We're running the wall breakers because wall breakers get you into that first layer of a wall. And because you can get through the first layer of wall, that's why we don't put jump spell up here because it's better to use a little bit of troop space and save a spell than to use a spell and save a little bit of troop space. Wall breakers, same idea. They're just worse, but if you're being stingy, you have to run it instead. This is great. I guess you only run one here. We only run one. We'll run multiple jump spells. No, we don't. I think it looks like this. So we want to run one jump spell. I think actually running one haste spell is really good. Running haste in the early part of the raid where you're kind of like sniping off everything on the outside, I think a haste spell can be valuable. But I think when it comes to getting to the core of the base, haste spell becomes less valuable. Um, it's also great because it remains, so you can save a bit of troop space, spell space with the haste spell. Second best siege machine, run it if you do not have Flameflinger. Run a sneaky, run Archer if you only have one space left. It's great. It's sniping out things you can't hit. Same thing with the minion. If you have a 2 space left, you can run a minion. I'd honestly run more archers over minion, but if you want to run a minion, you can do that. Log launcher, great. If you don't have access to the other two, it can snipe off buildings, open up a lot of walls, maybe even replace a jump in some cases, but you probably don't want to replace your jump. You never know what would happen to your siege machine. Freeze, great. Same thing as a heal invisibility spell. Just because it's worse than invisibility spell doesn't mean that it's not good, so that's why we're going to run it. Wizard, very niche. It honestly shouldn't be up here, but it is good enough that if you have 4 troop space, and you don't want to run an additional goblin and archer, this guy can help take out some of the base more quickly if all you're really worried about is cleanup. We like maybe throwing this behind the what's it called? Flamebringer will be good for you. So that's why we have that. If you have a good chunk of the base where the Baby Dragon can get at least 3 buildings, you should run this over Sneaky Goblin just because that's the ratio, and if you get that value, you get that value. Yeti, great in the Siege Machine. You probably want to run that always. The Siege Machine. Oh, I guess that puts Valkyrie up here because it's. Oh, I guess that it looks like this. The composition is Yeti. You fill it with as many Yetis as you can, and as many Valkyries as you can, and as many Barbarians as you can, and these are the 4 troops you throw inside that. Um, but of course, you should probably replace the Barbarian with Archer, now that I think about it. So, you die. Um, yeah. Ice Golem, great. Put inside in front of your heroes and let them get as much percent as you can. Use your heroes in the beginning of the raid so that you don't lose your hero value to the Clan Castle troops. Because we do not bring a poison. It's not worth bringing a poison for your hero dive. Uh, we have this for Blimp for sniping off town halls. We have the Slammer for opening up walls and taking out a defense or two. We have the Wall Wrecker in case you have no other option, but you still bring a Wall Wrecker even if it's the only thing you have. Better than nothing. Bowler, great for bowler bouncing. Great is an overstatement actually. If you find the value for it, if you really love the bowler and really want to bounce it, go for it. Valkyrie probably can be used once. It's like a troop version of a Rage. Um, but maybe you can find some niche value in it. But honestly, we'll probably put it like that. Earthquake, not really great. You shouldn't quite be using it, but if you want to use it to like open up the core of the base and make sure that it stays open forever. Sometimes when you're doing sneaky goblins, you spend too much time and your jump spell runs out. If that happens a lot, maybe running Earthquake instead of 2 jumps is better for you. The piggy is just here for luring out CC if you want to do that. That's the only reason why it's here. You really shouldn't be luring out the CC, but in case that's something that you're passionate about and want to take it out, you can go with the Hog Rider there. And P.E.K.K.A. also, if you don't have access to Yetis, is a great option for the siege machines. And everything else you don't really run. Too expensive, too expensive. Doesn't do what doesn't tanking isn't really relevant. Except for your heroes and your giant is not going to be as good as Ice Golem. Too expensive, but mostly you just need a lot of them. Too expensive. Hits defenses, which you don't really care about. Too expensive. Does what your goblins do, but worse, so overrun goblins or an archer over it. Too expensive, doesn't do anything. No reason to Coco Loon. You would bring this if you're bringing like a blimp, I guess. So we'll put this right here. Yeah, you'll do this if you're running a blimp to tank for the blimp. Um, I guess you can also run a Lava Hound. So we'll do something like this. So only with your blimp are you ever going to run this. Actually, I'm going to take out Lava Hound. You wouldn't ever really run that. You'll run the balloon with the blimp. There we go. For initial, because you shouldn't be blimping anything that's in the core. You should probably only be blimping if it's close to the outside. So we'll just put that. And you also have Warden ability, so blimp with the balloon can be useful. Too expensive, let's see, too expensive. It doesn't do anything for you. Would be funny, but too expensive. Too expensive, too expensive, too expensive, too expensive. This is good at, what's it called? Cleanup, but if your main use of a spell is for cleanup, I think that's not a good idea. Can do a little bit of tanking for your heroes if you need it. So probably is at the highest I've never used. Poison spell is also at the highest I've never used. We're not really healing anything. You're not really healing your heroes. You should be. Zap really bad. Don't use it. Lava Hound also just too expensive with the pups. There we go. Rearranging for no reason. Let's go. There we go. Boom. So yeah, too expensive. We don't hit heroes and is honestly super bad. And these don't exist. So, hope you guys did enjoy the video. That is the tier list. Let me know if there's anything that I missed, and let me know if you want to do any tier lists in the future. Just send me one. I might be doing a farming troop tier list. But tier lists, they take a lot of time. So, if you made it to the end, thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, maybe you enjoy my content, and you should probably leave a subscribe, leave a like. Let me know if you enjoyed it and want to hear my opinion on other Clash of Clans related topics. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.